In this video, we'll take a look at the Google OAuth implementation of Passport. Since we are still going to be using the session-based strategy in this implementation, we'll keep the database configuration and the session configuration as it is. The only changes that we need to make will be in the Passport config file, because the verify callback will change here, and also in the views section. So in the database file, the only change that we need to make, there are actually two changes. We'll just move this collection from Passport to Passport Google. We'll have a separate collection for this implementation. And the schema also will make a few changes. Since we don't need a password here, because the authentication method here is through Google, we'll just remove this string and instead add a Google ID key. So these are the changes that we need to make in the database file. We'll go to the views folder and look at the login file. We don't need this form, so we'll just remove the whole thing. And we'll just add an E tag that will redirect us to this route whenever we click on it. So the login file is done. This is the change that we need to make. We actually don't need this register file, so we can just delete it. We can also add file for the protected route. If I just, so I have just added this in the protected file. So we have this greetings user, and this name that we are getting here, this is what we can do in EJS. In EJS we can pass in variables. Using this we can actually create dynamic HTML. We also have a logout button here, which will just take us to the logout route. So that is it for the protected file, protected route. Now we'll take a look at the Google OAuth implementation in Passport's documentation. You can come to the strategy section and you'll find this strategy, the OAuth 2.0 strategy. So you can click on this. We first need to install this, so I'll just copy this string. While this is being installed, I'll just come back to the documentation. Now, in order to use this, we need a few credentials first. It has this link for Google Developers Console. So if you just go to this link, you'll be redirected to the Google Cloud Platform. For the OAuth credentials, you first need to create a project here. So we actually have an option here. I'll just zoom in. You can keep whatever name you want. Now once the project has been created, you can now create your OAuth credentials. So if you go to this credentials section, you can see here that there's no client IDs for OAuth. So to create the OAuth credentials, we can just click on this create credentials button and select this option. It will first tell us to configure the consent screen, so we have to do that first. This is actually not specific to the credentials. We need to do this before creating any sort of keys. We'll add a few configurations for this consent screen. So this will be disabled for you by default. So you just need to select external. Move on to the next page. For your app information, you can just pass in some few details. So I'll just name it Passport Demo Google. The support email will be the same through which you logged in to the Google Cloud Platform. You can add in extra emails if you want, but I'll just keep it as it is. I'll keep it to the default one. I don't need a logo for this application. I'll skip this part as well. I don't need a domain. I'll have to add a developer contact information here, so I'll just add in the same email address. Moving on to the next section. I don't need to add scopes. I'll save and continue. Same for test users. And this, I guess, is enough for the consent screen. So I'll go back to the dashboard. I'll again go to credentials, and now I'll try to create an OAuth ID credential. So our application type is a web application, so we'll select that. We can put in whatever name we want. We don't need JavaScript origins, we need redirect URIs. So our redirect URI will be we'll take a look at this in the documentation, but for the time being just add this as a redirect URI and we can create an ID. So we have these two keys here, the client ID and client secret. Copy them for now and save it somewhere locally in your system. Now once we have our credentials, we can come back to the documentation. Let's take a look at the strategy. We can just copy this. And inside this passport file, I'll just replace this verify callback with our new callback for Google strategy. I don't need this local strategy anymore, so I'll just remove this. Now inside this you can see that there's three things that we need: the callback URL, the client secret and the client ID. The client ID and the client secret you can get from your Google Cloud account. So if I go back to my credentials page, I can see that there's this Passport Google OAuth client ID here. So I can just click on this and my client ID will be here and my client secret will be here. So we can just copy this. You would normally want to store these keys inside environment variables and not expose them. This callback URL we can also get from the same section. So this is what we had added in the configuration. So we can just copy this and add it over here. And we'll save this. Now inside this Google strategy, we have to pass in this function as the second parameter. We get these values after successful authentication. So whenever you're trying to access a website and you log in through Google gives you this access token, and based on this access token, the third-party website will know that you are a valid user, and only then will it provide you the resources that you need. So this access token is basically a key to accessing the resources inside that website. Whenever your access token expires, this refresh token is replaced with this access token. I'll actually replace this with this. So here what we are doing is we try to find a user. Instead of user, I'll just pass in the user model. We are trying to find a user with a valid Google ID. This implementation is going to be similar to the one that we looked at in the Passport local strategy. So if we get an error, we'll return this condition first. So if we don't get a user, which means that this is the first time that we are trying to authenticate using Google, we'll then create a new user for this Google ID. So we'll give the properties Google ID and name using this user model, and we'll save it to our database. And then we'll at the end return the same callback but with a new user that we created. And at the end, if we actually do find the user, we'll just simply return the user. So this is our Google strategy middleware. We'll add this to our login route. There's no change in these two functions. These two functions will be the same. Once this is done, we can then move on to our server file. We'll make a few changes here first. So this database will now turn into Passport Google. We don't really need this route because we don't have a register page. We also don't need this post request because there's no login form here, so we can just remove this. We don't need this too, so we'll remove this. That looks fine. So now if we go back to the documentation, below this configure strategy section, we'll find these two requests. So we'll just copy these requests and put them in our application. So this first request is the one that we added to our login file. So when we click on this link, we'll be redirected to this route, which is basically this first request. Inside this request, we'll pass in our authenticate strategy, the Google authenticate strategy. So this middleware that we have here, this will be executed when we are on this route, auth Google, and this is the callback route. So inside this callback route, based on the status of the authentication, the user will be redirected to a particular page. So if there's a failure, we'll be redirected to the login route, and we can add in a success redirect as well. So we'll just pass in the success redirected to the protected route that we have. We don't need this middleware here, so we'll just remove it. So once we have this ready, now we can actually try to run this application. So now if I open the login route, okay, so we have this login with Google option. If I click on this, you'll see that the Google sign-in page gets opened. If I select any Google account here, I get an error here. So this is because, okay, so the callback URL that we had configured in our auth ID, we have this callback URL over here, auth/callback, and the value that we had copied from the documentation had this Google key in between. So we'll just remove this and now try to do it once again. We come back to the sign-in page. If I now select a Google account, I'm redirected to the protected route for some reason. Okay. So the protected route implementation that we have here, we are actually sending this protected message. We can just simply render the file that we created, this EJS file. So if I change this to protected, and we'll try this once again, sign in with a Google account, and I'm again getting an error this time. Okay, so this name variable that we had defined in the EJS file, this variable here, we need access to this variable somehow. So as of now, we are not sending anything back from this protected route. So we'll just add a few variables here. So we need name for now. So we'll just add the name variable. So now if I try to go back and sign in through this account, so I get redirected to this page. This is the protected route that we created. I also have this logout button. So now actually I should have gotten the user name over here. Let me just see what happened. Okay, so the reason that we were not getting the username over here was because the name that we were storing here, whenever we were trying to create a new user, this name key was actually supposed to be username. If we go to the user model, we see that it's username. So I can just change this to name and this should work. So if I go back now and I try to sign in, I should see the name here. So this works. If I click on logout, it will just take me to this login route. If I try to access the protected route now, I should not be able to do it because I'm not logged in through Google. So yeah, this also works. So we'll quickly go through this flow once again. So when I log in through Google and I use one of these accounts, I'll be redirected to this page. This is the protected route. When this happens inside the database, I can refresh this and see there's these two collections for our Passport Google database. There's sessions and there's users. Inside the session, I have this session with this Passport ID. If you can see here, I'll just zoom this. Here at the end, you can see that there's this passport key with the user ID. This user ID is similar to the one that was created inside this users collection. So we have this users ID, we have a name key, and we have this Google ID. So if I log out now, I'll be redirected to the login page, and if I check the database inside my sessions, now the passport value has an empty object. Now the cookie is there, the session is there, but since we don't have anything inside the passport property, you are basically not authenticated. So now if I try to access the protected route, I get this message saying that I'm unauthorized. So this is how we implement Google OAuth in our Express application. In the next video, we'll take a look at this JWT strategy, which is a token-based strategy. The token-based strategy is a bit different from these strategies, which are session-based. We have these session implementations here. We have these two methods for serializing and deserializing user. All of that you won't be seeing in the JWT strategy. We'll take a look at that in the next video. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you in the next one.